Question number 3 is not in the correct form to read the information for the ellipse. So we need to get it into the correct form by using completing the square, and then we will be able to read the information. So I'm going to put a note here that we need to get into the correct form so we can read the information. So I said that we had to use completing the square, but before we complete the square we need to organize our terms. So I'm going to put the 4x squared minus 8x, and then I'm going to leave a space and put plus y squared plus 4y, and then leave a space and set this equal to negative 4. So I'm putting my x's together, putting my y's together, and leaving some spaces. Okay, so you might remember from completing the square that we're not allowed to have a number in front of the square term. So I need to factor out this 4 here. So factor out the 4 so that we can complete the square. So this will be 4 times x squared minus 2x, and then I still want to leave that space and close my parentheses, plus y squared plus 4y. I don't need to factor anything out of the y's because the y squared has a 1 in front of it, and that's what we want. And this is equal to negative 4. Okay, so now I'm ready to complete the square. And to complete the square we need two numbers. The first one is half of the coefficient of the x term. So half of negative 2 is negative 1. Then I want to square that number. So if you square negative 1 you get positive 1. And the plus 1 is what I want to put here. Now I need to keep this legal. So you would think that I would have to add 1 to the other side, but I don't. I need to add something to the other side, but it's actually not a plus 1. And the reason why it's not a plus 1 is because this 4 is being multiplied by everything in this parentheses, including the plus 1. So it looks like I'm adding 1 here, but I'm actually adding 4 because of this 4. So because I'm adding 4, I need to put a plus 4 on the other side to keep it legal. So that's always very tricky when you have a coefficient out in front here. You need to multiply it by this and then add that to the other side to keep it legal. Okay, if we complete the square on the y's, half of the 4 is going to be 2. And then if we square that, we get 4. So I'm going to add 4 here, and there's really no parentheses here, so there's nothing being multiplied by this 4. So I could just add 4. So these two 4's are to keep it legal. Okay, so I'm going to continue with completing the square. This is going to turn into 4 times x minus 1, and that's where we see the minus 1 again, squared. So if you factor this, this factors as a perfect square trinomial, and that's how we get the x minus 1 squared. But you'll always get this first number when you complete the square. And this is plus y and you'll see the 2 again. Y plus 2 squared. And this is going to be equal to 4. Okay, so we're almost there. Lastly, we need this to be a 1. So if you look at our formula, this must be a 1. So to do that, we need to divide by 4. So I'm going to divide this by 4, this by 4, and this by 4. And then simplify. So this will be x minus 1 squared, and the 4 and the 4 reduce. I'm going to put the 1 here. You don't have to put any number, but it makes it easier to read the information if you put the 1 here. But it's technically, or it can technically be implied if you don't put anything there. So plus y plus 2 squared over 4 is equal to 1. Let me erase that circle. There we go. Okay, so this is our form for the ellipse. So now I'm ready to read the information from this. So my center is going to be 1, negative 2, and I'm getting that from these. And my horizontal distance is going to be 1, and my vertical distance is going to be 2, and I'm getting that from the square root of these. So now I'm ready to draw this. So this is going to be at 1, negative 2, and then my horizontal distance is 1, so I need to go to the right one and to the left one. And then my vertical distance is 2, so I need to go up 2 and then down 2. So I'm starting at the center and then working my way horizontally and then working my way vertically. So the longer length is the vertical length, so that will be the major axis. And you can see that it's 4 units long here. Technically we are multiplying the 2 by 2 to get the 4. And the minor axis is the horizontal because that's the shorter. And I'm technically multiplying this 1 by 2. But again, if you just want to look at the picture, that's actually easier. So the vertices are on the ends of the major axis. So that would be here and here. And the covertices are on the ends of the minor axis. So that would be here and here. So my vertices are going to be 1, 0, 1, negative 4, and my covertices are going to be 0, negative 2, and 2, negative 2. Lastly, I need to find my foci. So I'm going to use c is equal to the square root of b squared minus a squared. So c is going to be equal to the square root of 4 minus 1, or just the square root of 3. So my foci are going to be 1 comma negative 2 plus square root of 3, and 1 comma negative 2 minus square root of 3. And these are the exact values. So the decimal approximations are negative 0.2679 and negative 3.73. So your graph doesn't need to be perfect as long as it's somewhat close. those will be the two foci.